Sometimes a city faces a problem so big, so threatening to its future, that the only solution is to build something totally new. That's exactly what we're talking about today. It's the story of how one city built its own university from scratch to save itself. Welcome to the story of the University of Sialkot. Okay, let's kick things off with a little riddle. What do the soccer balls you see in the World Cup and, say, the super precise surgical tools in an operating room, what on earth could they have in common? I mean, they seem totally unrelated, right? Well, it turns out there's a good chance they were both made in the exact same city. And that city is Sialkot, a major manufacturing hub in Pakistan. But here's the twist. For all of its worldwide success, Sialkot had this huge, looming problem, something that was threatening to unravel everything. So to really get why their solution was so bold, we first have to understand just what Sialkot was dealing with. I mean, Sialkot's economic muscle is no joke. We're not talking about some small local player here. This city is a global leader in things like sports equipment, surgical instruments, and leather goods. It's actually part of what's known as Pakistan's industrial golden triangle, a real powerhouse of manufacturing and exports. This place was an absolute engine. But here's the catch, the big paradox. The city is churning out all these amazing products, right? But it was bleeding its most precious resource, its own people. Think about it. The sharpest, most talented young folks were packing up and leaving for bigger cities like Lahore or Islamabad to go to university. And the real problem? Most of them just never returned. This phenomenon, called brain drain, was literally gutting the city's future. So the people in charge knew they couldn't just sit back and watch this happen. They had to do something big. And instead of just accepting their fate, they made a move that kicked off a whole new, really ambitious chapter for the city. And their plan was brilliant. It wasn't about just throwing cash at the problem and hoping it would go away. Nope. They started with something really clever, a unique public-private partnership. The whole idea was to combine the power of the government with the practical needs of the local businesses. And how they did it was really the secret sauce. A big, established public university, the University of Gujarat, agreed to open a smaller sub-campus right there in Sialkot. But listen, the goal wasn't just to hand out diplomas. From the get-go, the mission was crystal clear. Build a pipeline of talent that would flow directly into Sialkot's industries. But that little sub-campus? That was just the beginning. It was always meant to be more. And it quickly started to grow from this small offshoot into a real powerhouse in its own right. And the speed at which it all happened is just wild. Okay, so it starts in 2013 as a sub-campus. By 2014, the first students are walking through the doors. And then, get this, by 2018, we're talking just 5 years later, it becomes a fully independent university, the University of Sialkot. That kind of growth is just explosive. Just let that sink in for a second. In only 5 years, Sialkot went from having basically no major local university option to having its own private independent institution. That was an absolute game changer, not just for the city, but for the whole region. But just having the title university wasn't the point. The real mission, the core idea, was to be a university for Sialkot. And that meant every single decision, from the ground up, had to be about serving the city's economy. Just look at the courses they offer. It's so practical and laser-focused. They have a textile and fashion design department. Why? To support the local sports and leather goods businesses. Their engineering school, it's all about manufacturing and automation. Even the business school zeroes in on things like export and supply chains. Literally every piece of the puzzle was designed to fit what Sialkot actually needed. And to make sure this wasn't all just talk, they created this special office called ORIC. Its whole purpose is to act as a bridge. It takes all the cool research and new ideas from inside the university and connects them directly with local businesses to solve actual problems. It's all about turning classroom theories into real-world results. But for all this down-to-earth practical stuff, the university has this huge, ambitious vision. Their motto, which translates to, "There are other universes beyond the stars," is just beautiful. It's this perfect mix of, let's solve the problems right in front of us, but also, let's dream as big as we possibly can. Okay, so the idea is great. The structure is smart. But did it work? Has it actually made a difference? Well, let's look at the numbers. First off, just look at the sheer scale of it. Today, the University of Sialkot has more than 10,000 students. That's 10,000 young people who are now getting a great education without having to leave home, and you better believe they're investing their talent right back into their own city. And it's not like it's a small menu of options. Those students can choose from 94 different degree programs across 8 faculties. It's grown from this focused little college into a full-blown university that covers pretty much everything. And you can tell they're focused on quality, not just quantity. They have a student-to-teacher ratio of 17:1. That's really, really good. It means students are actually getting personal attention. It's not just about packing lecture halls, it's about giving them a genuinely good education. So, what's the bottom line? Well, it worked. It absolutely worked. The university is now the educational heart of Sialkot. By creating this awesome local option, one that's directly tied to what the city needs, they managed to stop and even reverse that brain drain that was once such a huge threat. The whole story of USKT is just such a powerful lesson, isn't it? It shows that education isn't just about learning. It can be a powerful strategy for building up an entire community. And it leaves you wondering, what else could we fix if we started thinking about education this way? Not just as something for individuals, but as the engine that powers the future of our hometowns.